Hey, we're back in the real world. After, in the last episode, we leveled up our new character, party member. That'll be it. What do you know of this place, the Tatooine? I have heard of Tatooine, but I have never visited it. Beyond Anchorhead, the planet's only settlement, I doubt there is anything of interest here. Which makes it ever the more curious as to why an ancient empire would build a star map here. Perhaps this planet was not always a giant desert? How do you know? Now, is there anything else you would ask of me? How do you know about the map, especially since we've told you nothing about it, because we hardly went anywhere? Oh, we can talk to her about other companions that we haven't introduced to her yet, or her to them. So anyway, what I was trying to say is that we've got a new party member, and I was wondering how to start the next part of the mod, but it turns out that I just need to get to Ebon Hawk, and that'll be it. Also, our headcanon is that we've killed the mechanic on Orion, took the ship to ourselves, landed it on Tatooine, somewhere, I guess, out of sight, out of mind, so that no one finds it, because it's ours now. And it's fine, we can't control the ship ourselves alone, because Mechanic could. He was the only sole survivor, essentially, other than us, but was the only one wanting to stay on the ship, and crewing the ship, essentially. So if he could, so can we. And now she's got things to say about our companions. We could fly to every planet with her to learn what she's got to say about them. She won't have anything to say about Tatooine because we can't get there. I guess that's her feature. But what do you think of my companions? You seem to have quite the gathering of followers. Your memories may have been taken from you, but certainly not your leadership skills. Who do you speak of? I thought it's gonna be just a broad statement about all of them, but we can actually ask her about anyone. Who do we care about? We can't talk to her about mission, and we fortunately for her can't well, mission, I meant Bastila, and we can't talk to her about the one dead, Juhani. So who do we want to hear from her about? HK-47, the better version of her. This droid, this HK-47, I don't trust it. It is no simple protocol droid, that much I can assure you. We already know that. HK-47 is an assassin droid that I built. I have an assassin droid. I have got a highly trained personal assassin. That's not you. I created him when I was the Dark Lord. This droid, he was your personal assassin? Yes. Strange. Why was I not informed of its existence when you were the Dark Lord? You weren't privy to this information. It would have ruined its cover. No, these concerns are of no importance. You must have had your reasons. Yeah, but it's interesting that she actually noticed. But it's still lampshading. He is the better version of you. We could talk to her about everyone, but I really want to get a move on. Well, now what? Mission! She's also a twi'lek. She's young and naive. Let's hear about that and we'll try to get a move on. The child? So open, so trusting, yet her uses to you are few. Whilst it is true that she has potential, rarely does one find the time to build upon that potential in the middle of a battlefield. But we should not be so quick to dismiss her, though through her we can control the Wookiee, an ally with a great many uses. Pretty smart, actually, when it comes to a comment like that. That'll be all, Shadow. Interesting. She is a skill monkey, and she can do what you cannot, which is sneak as a class feature, or at least as a class skill, and have sneak attack as well, which you don't have, because you're garbage. Also, I don't know if we're gonna have a cutscene, so there might be flickering, because I needed to shift options so that that's actually recorded. Or maybe instead I should have just fucking played without that until I play through it, and then if I have it, I would record it separately. Well, too late now, I'm already talking and I'm not willing to do it again. Oh, alright, so let's get to the ship and we'll be going from there, I guess. There it is, the mod specific saving and loading, so we're in it already.
Matilda.
That name. And we play as her, pretty cool. Alright, what can we do? Force speed, improved energy resistance. Might as well buff right now. And if we're running out. So we're meditating in this dormitory, or what would you call it? I think it's called on the map something. Also, we haven't discovered. The map is uncovered. Well, undiscovered. Crew quarters. Bastila usually hangs out here, and it's all a different place anyway because the map is uncovered, not uncovered. So we're gonna use our new skills of sneaking.
Become greater beings.
Yeah, it is kicking in right away. That's pretty cool. Everything is red because it's evil, right? Menacing. She is Sith or whatever. We probably saw her as a youngster, or as the Star Wars say, youngling. Matilda must be her name then, since who the fuck would call to her or to anyone?
Her because the Force failed me. It turned away from me, so I returned the favor.
Why else would we play the Shadow? Of course, it's her name from the youth. So we're already learning the some backstory on her. We're getting some voices about failing her, so the Force failed her. Apparently, I guess. Nothing to lose from here. It's probably not important that I'm sneaking, because she's not a thief and rogue, and she can't sneak by default as a class feature, class skill, so they wouldn't require you to. But we'll see what happens. Our buffs are going away anyway. And one thing that I want to comment on is you might have heard about the established titles, multiple, I'm pretty sure, who sells a tiny plot of land.
The gaping hole left by the sacrifice of identity was never replaced with a new one. Instead, I think you became something else.
Are these... I don't know, I don't remember. Are these lines from the other parts of the mod in the future where we're gonna get to? Or is it just foreshadowing weirdly? I mean, the voice line readings so far aren't too bad, which also shows progress in mod making, because the guy actually found someone to voice it, rather than using alien speech that means nothing essentially, right? It's default text, default speech, just to have something running in the background. Right, so established titles. It turns out that it's kind of a scam, pretty much a scam.
And always behind those manipulations was Revan.
Stop casting shade on me, dude. And I mean, you know, the main character, obviously not her, even though I'm playing her. We are playing her right now. Whoever plays it will play her. It's not like you're gonna get a chance of running your character right here. Established titles is not based in Scotland, is one thing. So they're not really doing the Scottish lairdry, I think. Second, they're not selling plot of land that entitles you to a title. Third, the plot of land is a souvenir, so it has no value, and can't be registered, so you can't be shown, you can't prove that you own land, so you can't be called a lord, and lordship is not bestowed simply by owning land. And also they're supposed to be planting trees for every plot of...
What, as a Jedi, I should do. I will destroy Sith. I will destroy you.
Alright. So there's a woman and a man in her life that we need to look out for. These people look like Churka employees, or they might have been defaulted to these outfits because they're not branded enough. I don't know if we'll find like the armbands. Oh, there it is. We will, Churka. So either, like I said, it's actually either specifically Cherka or just whomever. And they were supposed to be planting trees, which they're not doing. They were accused of not doing it, so and their website says they're planting natural trees and regrowing forests in Scotland. But then they, after accusation of you're not planting any trees, they say we plant trees all over the world as opposed to in Scotland, which is again contrary to what they claimed they were doing. So it is false advertisement and might be a scam. Also now, as usual, hindsight is 2020. So now when you read that this is based on a Scottish tradition of owning land and getting titles for it, it is based on the tradition, not it is the tradition of owning land and getting titles for it. So if you buy land, you will be lord. It is based on. So it's not that. We kind of took the concept and ran with it. You know, you buy whatever square foot of land, and we just call you a lord. You know, we're gonna play pretense, essentially. Like those stories in movies often, when based on a true story, and like true story is that there was a family in a house and they moved because they didn't like the house. So that's true. The only not true part of it is that it was...
Sarah Dagana, come on, girl, answer me. Look at me, anything.
Oh, someone calls us Sarah as well. I think that was the alias for the Orion, so it must be recent memory here. Planting trees, playing pretend. Oh right, they left the house because the ghost. There are no ghosts. That's not why the family left the house. But it's based on a true story of a family leaving a house. So, sure covering your bases here, right? Now, and what's worse is that someone made a video about it. Someone discussed it, essentially. Because making a video, that seems very unprofessional. Also, a thing, well, I'm not gonna go into detail, but if you're saying, I'm a YouTuber and I made a documentary on something, it's gonna sound like you're giving yourself too much credit for making YouTube videos, but you know, information is information. Any legitimate, it's a way of recording, creating record essentially for the future on anything, right? Chemistry, physics, whatever you do, if it's unique and it's documented with a video, it's a legitimate information. So a guy did a legitimate information, put legitimate information in a video 2 years ago, and he already was calling out this being a scam, and I learned about all this only recently, only today really. So the issue is, I told you how I would deal with advertisement, and kind of got me anxious with the whole thing that it comes out now in popular, in, how should I call it? The wider population knows now that this is a scam. Based in Hong Kong, not Scotland, and all these things. And they're also involved in other scam brands like Kamikoto knives, which are supposed to be Japanese super hardcore hammered steel, which is not, of course, which is trash and it doesn't hold an edge. And with that, I think it makes me anxious, because by default I essentially should be winking at any during any advertisement that happens by default, because I don't know if I would do the due diligence to find out all about something, a scam. Some will camouflage like established titles if they reached out to me, but I would definitely take the money.
For me, I see that what was once the childlessly Hayron is now gone. In its stead is a creature that was spawned from the tragedy of the Mandalorian Wars.
With all this, it seems like Matilda, most likely Shadow here, is being guilt-tripped into going back into the light. And I guess this is supposed to be in line with the fact that Revan canonically turns back to the life and saves the Republic again. So she needs to become light side so that she can honor Revan and stick with him, as opposed to oppose him when he turns to the dark side. But she says it doesn't matter whether she's a Sith or a Jedi. She's whatever he needs her to be, I think, one way or another. Or anyway, the sentiment is that she is the devoted tool to Revan, no matter his ideals and tasks he's got to her. So I don't know why are we having this guilt trip. Now, granted, again, it depends on whether when are you getting to play the Solomon's Revenge part of the mod. And that would influence whether it's an abrupt change. As soon as she finds Revan again, she gets onto the ship, starts meditating, and has force visions. Let's go with that instead of just hallucinations. Force visions about all the everything that she's messed up and how guilty she feels and all the repressed identities and memories, possibly, because like I said, she's now just she's well, I don't know how to say it. She's no longer a person, she's just whatever. She's like a slave, objectified creature to do Revan's bidding, and she's immediately, as soon as she's found him, I'm gonna have to disable sneaking because it's really taking a long time. She's having second thoughts about her position as soon as she finds her master again. So not an engineering, not a medical, not here again apparently, since nothing's happening. Back in here must be then, and hopefully it's something interesting. With that maybe, since it's supposed to be something interesting, let's get protected. Boom, protected. And then what happens? There it is. That must be Solomon. Must be, otherwise the mod wouldn't be called Solomon's Revenge, right? Oh, I've been uncloaked right now. And that was beneficial to us. That was my whole shtick here. Hello, dude. But you... That's not possible! I mean, the whole ship is full of Churka officials.
So at last, you have come.
And you're complaining just about this? What about Revan? Where's Revan? Why is everything red? You're complaining only about Solomon being here, as opposed to everything else going on? Only that's not possible. Silver Edge 9 presents... Brotherhood of Shadow, Solomon's Revenge. And so we do get the big video that I needed to record after all. So we've got the intro. Now everyone's hanging around and we're not talking to them because that's main game. Well, I'm ought to talk to Shadow. Would anyone have anything to say about Shadow?
Yeah, what do you want?
Stims around this world.
Your choice.
Everyone has something to say about the world we're at, so I guess that keeps... I forgot about that option, so that keeps with the fact that Shadow needs to have something to say about that as well. Right, so it makes me anxious, because, oh, that's where you're hanging out, because Bastila is out. Also, I forgot to mention... Well, I wrote it in the description of the previous video, but Shadow is such a carbon copy, replacement of Bastila, one-to-one, so much so that she's, first off, female, second, Jedi Sentinel, third, uses double saber, and fourth, is useless, I guess. So yeah, that's very much, you know, it would have, I think, it does have legitimate reasons to be so, because you've got one of each class. You've got a soldier, Canderous, and Karth. That you've got skill monkeys. You've got a rogue, scoundrel, and T3 and 4. You've got an assassin, being sentinel, I guess, combat and skills, which is HK47. We've got Jedi warrior. Juhani, Guardian, Sentinel Bastila, and Consular Jolie. so she must cover what we are missing right now. But from right, sentinel, fighter, warrior. Oh, Zalbar is sentinel as well, isn't he? Well, scoundrel, isn't he? He's just strong, and that's all he's got to say for himself. Fuck. Shit, fuck. Zalbar. Scout, yeah, that's what I meant. Scoundrel scout. If he's scout, and she's scoundrel. He's the mixed. So who's fighter? Oh, right, these people. So droids are just droids, I guess. Silly me. Right, good enough, good enough. Again, Zalbar is pretty good at fighting with his strength anyway. So with the anxiety, every advertisement that I would have ever running on my channel would need to be winked during, because I don't know if I would be able to do the due diligence to have a clear conscience when I'm about taking all that money. But it would, I guess it would be the easiest if some service that I'm already using came to advertise, because I would know how's that going, I guess. But without that, but with everything else, it might be difficult. So that got me a bit spooked that it came out as a scam 2 years after someone already figured that out, but no one was listening anyway. So gotta stay on my toes. Now let's quickly figure out what Shadow can do for us here, and that will probably be it. I've had a vision in the Force. The Ebon Hawk was called. There were bodies strewn across the floor, and there was him. Yeah, what bodies? Who's him? And what could it mean, really? Who's him? That's the most important thing, I guess. Who's him? It isn't of importance right now. It isn't. That's why you immediately blurted that out once I came over to ask, hey, what's up? How's it going? What are you doing right now? Who is him? We're sticking with that, right? What could have caused it? What could it mean? Yeah, this is a good question. What could have caused it? You just met me. You're all happy about being my slave again. In multiple... Well, slave is just a property. I can do her... well, there it is. I can do her. That was the innuendo. She's a sex slave. That's the innuendo. What could have caused it? Everything was going fine, and we're immediately jumping into the next part of the mod? I think it was caused by a disturbance in the Force. An echo. Oh, we're using the second game terms again. Korriban. We must go to Korriban. Something has happened there. Something will happen there. Sure, I wasn't doing anything. With him, could have caused it. What could it mean? Then we'll travel. What could it mean? I guess that something's happening on Korriban? What could it mean? I don't know yet. It showed a great many things. What was, what is, and I think what not yet has come to pass. It was a glimpse into the future. This is specifically what Galadriel says from Lords of the Ring, not Rings of Power. Kunbithkin? Okay. It sounds like you have got a lisp, I think, is the term. Then we'll travel to Korriban as soon as we're able to. Very well, my lord. So, about companions. Who else can we learn something about? Jolee, he's a Jedi. I speak of Jolee. As with all Jedi, this man should not be trusted. He may claim to be different from the rest of his kind, but at heart he is still loyal to the Jedi code. Use him if you may, but be mindful. You will need to discard him on a moment's notice if he becomes too difficult to control. It's all foreshadowing. Kind of actually annoying that she doesn't like anyone and she would like, you know, should have human emotions about someone. But then again, you might think of her as very insightful with the Force because she's a Sith and she's got the best intentions for you. She's got the best for you in mind, something like that. She wishes you the best, so she'll try to work for it, especially since she's your fucking slave. So she's skeptical about everyone. You know, a good attitude to have, I guess, but it would I guess maybe it would make her a little bit more human if she took liking to anyone, really. So there's that. We're going to Korriban. We'll see if there's anything cool going on the way. That's Yavin, so that will be Kor. No, that's Tatooine. There we go. We're just having space combat, it will be but a moment. Alright, we are here. Anything to say to clue us in on what the fuck is going on? She's been moved a bit further, maybe, so that so it's easier for us to, you know, understand that we need to talk to her. We're on Korriban. Now what? I have some questions. Did you fight in Mandalorian Wars? Yes, I fought in the Mandalorian Wars along with every other Jedi who had defied the Council and followed you to the Outer Rim. I don't know if we've gone over this already. So you're a Jedi General? When I left the Jedi Order and joined the Revanchists, I was still a Padawan. I had much to learn, yet without a master to instruct me. It was my experiences during Mandalorian Wars which became my teacher. Within the culture of my adopted people, we are taught to read the emotions of others through their movements. When I first became a general, I was overwhelmed by how sincerely grateful the battle-hardened Republic soldiers were to we Revanchists, for what was to the Republic Navy a widely celebrated intervention. They respected us, they listened to us, and I think in many ways they loved us. We were the saviors who had come to rescue them in a time of great need. We were, in essence, their champions. Let's go to my previous questions. How often did you meet with Revan? With me? Yeah, how often did you meet with Revan? I know quite a lot. Let's see. In the early days, I did not have any contact with you beyond the standard orders that every general received through the communication network. Yet in ways I cannot describe, I felt you were always with me. She already had the syndrome, right? It was not until after the events of Taris that I began to meet with you more frequently. I had no doubts that it was due to what had happened there, but I was not one to complain. Right, she, because, again, we're the man in power, so she immediately swoons over us because we're the man in power, that's good enough. A leader, strong, respected, she needs that dick. What happened on Taris? I will not go into the details, but on Taris something happened which radically altered my perspective of events. It changed me in many ways and, in essence, thrust me forward to ultimately become your shadow after the war's end. In essence, thrust me, I think it would be thrusted. Right, it changed me and then should be in past tense. Anything else you can tell me quickly? Back to my previous questions. Experience with the Sith Empire. We'll question her about that later. Now we'll take her out on a walk through a sunny, deserted planet of Korriban, the cradle of evil in Star Wars galaxy apparently, obviously. And that will be it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully we will see each other in something I play for you for free. And in the meantime, subscribe to the channel, interact with this video and every other video, preferably by watching them and sharing them around. And if you don't like the content, it's entirely your fault.